This is Legally Goff, where we mix law, pop culture, and the occasional chaos of real life. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Brooke Goff, lawyer, businesswoman, and professional truth teller. Buckle up, this isn't your grandma's legal podcast. She's written the stories that shape pop culture long before social media ever did. And today, she's here to spill the secrets behind it all. Laura Von Warmer joins me on Legally Goff to talk about fame, fiction, and finding your voice in a world full of noise. So today, one of my good friends and somebody that I idolize in a lot of ways is going to be on the show, Laura Von Warmer.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And her story is a story that you need to stay tuned and listen to the entire thing to appreciate it all, because the amount of adversity that you've gone through and the amount of success you've had in your career and in your life and the amount of crazy opportunities and crazy meetings and crazy connections you've had really just kind of come together and make the story of somebody that is brilliant and somebody that is so successful. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate it very much. No emotions. It's my podcast. You can't be emotional.
Oh, Brooke.
So Laura, I want you to talk about you, something you have a hard time doing in my dealings with you. You are an author. You have your own podcast now. You have all of these things going on. But I want to start early with the books and being an author, and then kind of let's talk about your story and take it one step at a time.
Well, it all starts in high school.
It always does, trust me.
Well,
Good for better or worse.
Good and bad things have started
Well,
there.
it comes back around. Actually, it was 5th grade when Miss Cushmore said, I think of born authoresses in our class. And I thought, ooh, I can make up stories for a living. That's what I could do. And when I was in high school, these poor kids, I would stop every keg party and say, everybody has to sit down and listen to what I wrote. I'd read them these stories, right? So it was a real pain in the neck. And then I went off to college, and I realized that I really had nothing to write about because I hadn't done anything. So I decided I should write for TV then, if I didn't have anything to say. But right after graduation, I ran into somebody on 5th Avenue in New York who told me there was a job opening at Doubleday, secretary to the editor-in-chief. And all I could think about was the Sherlock Holmes stories, Irving Wallace, Alex Haley, Arthur Haley, like every best-selling novelist in the country worked there. So I ended up working there, basically because Jackie Onassis walked in through the door when I was doing my interview. And I went, oh, she works here? And I said, that's interesting. Anyway, so I started working there, and I worked my way up to becoming an editor. So it was like I had thrown everything out the window and did that. And then I was asked to go out to MGM to work on a Dynasty book. You're so young, Brooke, you don't even remember what Dynasty was.
Is that the books where you get to choose your ending?
No, this is like the
That was
TV show.
That was Mad Libs.
Yes, I give up.
This was the #1 TV show around the world.
Dynasty, you know Dynasty.
Not a clue.
Not a clue, I know.
I didn't watch it, but I know what it is.
I thought it was the book where if you
dun.
choose to go up the hill, turn to page 56. That's what I thought a Dynasty book
There
was.
you go.
If you don't, then if you go up the hill and turn to page 56, you die. So that's the books I'm talking
No,
about.
this was
It was
Linda
an amazing
Evans,
TV show.
Joan
Understood. Yeah, I had no idea what a
Collins, and
Dynasty TV show
all the-
was.
Sorry, I just saw a fan walk in. Anyway, so I went to MGM, and I was helping the creators of Dynasty that you've never heard of create a book. And I got the writing bug again. It was the first time I had written anything since college, and I had the bug. And I came home, and within a month, I was starting a novel. And within 6 months, I was leaving Doubleday. And I had to learn how to be a novelist. But I had to support myself somehow. So I called those people in LA, and then they hired me to do a Knots Landing book and a Dallas book. And so I'm hobnobbing all. That's how I know all these actors and stuff, was just this weird little part. So I got the money to support myself while I learned how to write. And I wrote my first novel, and it was about my neighborhood in New York. About something happened to the cleaning lady.
It always starts with the damn cleaning lady.
Yeah.
Isn't there a show, The Cleaning Lady? The one that's on, like, have you seen this?
No, I'm talking about Hazel. So that's...
Who the hell's Hazel?
We're getting there. We're getting Hazel's up next.
Well, so
I
anyway,
get excited when we
I
talk about
wrote
cleaning.
this
I'm sorry.
book, and it was called Riverside Drive. And it ended up doing really well. And so for the next 14 years, I wrote like a novel every year for Doubleday and Random House and HarperCollins. And then I got approached by a group because I just loved book publishing. You know, I really love it. And this group approached me about helping writers come into the 21st century. You know, writers that, like my age, I was into the tech stuff, I always was, and the marketing online, and it just left so many writers out in left field. They had no idea what was going on. So we started a company called Author and Company, and it was really a tech company. And I was the publisher. So I was helping writers revitalize their backlist by reissuing their old titles in as ebooks, and then showing them how to promote them with the new media. And one of those people was Betty White.
The Betty White. See, I know
You've
her.
watched Golden Girls.
Of course. I just don't know Dynasty. What the hell is
Because
Dynasty?
the reruns, they have licensing problems. They can't rerun it.
Golden Girls, I must have seen every episode 74 times at Nick at Night when I'm trying to fall asleep during college studying for whatever the hell I was studying for.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But Betty White, everybody loves Betty
Of course
White.
they do. And she is, she and I had the same agent. So I've known Betty for years. And so I was doing one of her books that was out of print in as an ebook or whatever. Then I got involved in, she wanted to write a new book. And so my agent said, would you help Betty with this? Because I think at the time she was 90. So I said, sure. And Betty and I were friends. So I was going out there to work with her and some of the other girls on, what was the last show she did with Valerie Bertinelli and I'll remember it and it'll come back.
I'll chat GPT it. Hold on.
Yeah, yes, Hot in Cleveland.
Oh.
That was it. And she was still making that show. And those girls were going to work on this new book of Betty's. So I was corralling all of them together to try and start working on it. And then my flight was leaving at 6 from LaGuardia, and I was out here in Connecticut. And I got up at 3 to go to the airport, and I was driving on the Route 15, which we call the, I don't know what.
Merritt Parkway.
Well, the Merritt, yeah, in Fairfield County, it's called Merritt Parkway.
Hutchinson Parkway, is that what you guys call
Well,
it?
no, that's off into Westchester. But so there I was, and I was approaching the Sleeping Giant Tunnel, and I couldn't believe it. I saw, because there was nobody on the road, and I couldn't believe it. This guy was flying out of the tunnel on my side of the road. And I said a lot of expletives, and then I started to turn. I was in the passing lane because I was scared of hitting animals, you know, in the summer. It was in June, and you know how animals are always running out. So I was in the left-hand lane, and I turned to get over on the right-hand lane, but he turned to follow me. And I thought, oh God, all right, I'm just going to turn the wheel. I'm just going to have to crash into the divider if I have time to get away from this guy. But then he turned. So I was almost to a stop when he hit me. But, you know, the engine went through the car into the passenger seat. It was a pretty hard crash. I woke up like a month later. My poor family was devastated. Angie was there, my friend Angie,
My wife.
who was an attorney at the time and a good friend of ours. And she was helping my partner try to figure out which way was up because she was shell-shocked. Because I was always the invincible one, right? Sure. And my brother and sister were like freaked out. Everybody was. You know, it couldn't be Laura. You know, Laura goes everywhere and nothing ever happens to her. Well, it did this time. So it was a long road back. he had, my chest was all caved in. He broke 16 ribs, and he did a lot of stuff. But the big thing is my foot was on the brake. So when he hit me, it basically took my foot off. And my other half, Chris, knew I would be nuts if I got my foot amputated. So she immediately started causing all these problems at the hospital, telling them, you can't cut it off, because that's what they wanted to do. To make a long story short, it's taken a long, long time to get my mojo back. I had like 9 surgeries. It was really like Humpty Dumpty on the wall. And then Yale New Haven put me back together again. This is the voice I was left with. And as a former big mouth, talking and going it's hard. And also my face was smashed up, so I don't look the same anymore. And I was just devastated by it. And worse yet, none of the lawyers wanted to work on my case, Brooke, as you may remember.
I do.
Because there were circumstances that were really terrible. And this was not the state to get hit in. I should have gotten hit in New York.
Arguably, yes, that's probably accurate.
Yeah. And and that's how I know you. You were this sort of angel who said, I can figure this out. I'll figure this out. Because all I've been hearing was, there's no way we can do this, we can do this, do that. And I was just hopeless at that point. But of course, I was on so many drugs, I didn't really care.
Sure.
Right? But Brooke said, I can do this. And it was wonderful. You were such a shot in the arm for me. And all the way through, you were so supportive. And I'll always be so grateful to you. Because lawyers are lawyers. And
you can say it. Lawyers suck. Most of the time they do. Most of the time they do.
They can.
Yeah, and they do. And, I think I want to talk, though, a little bit more about the accident, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So you're on your way to meet Betty White.
Yes.
To work on a second book. Help her work on a second book
Work on a book.
What have you.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. You're on the Merritt. And you left out a couple details, though, that I think are important.
Oh, sure.
One, the guy that hit you was fucking drunk.
Yes.
Number one. So let's put that out there. And number 2, there were many doctors that did not think you were going to make it through it.
That's right.
And you have this fighting spirit about you that I believe that the people closest to you, I know Angie came and visited you guys quite a bit when you were in the hospital. I know Chris well. Everybody I think that was in your sphere knew you were going to pull through. It was just a matter of what collateral damage would be there as a result.
They did say.
And chicks dig raspy voices, Laura. So
no, well,
I'd say it's not a decline.
I'm still married.
I know, but chicks dig raspy voices. It's okay. I heard your voice the first time. I'm like, if all else fails, she could narrate sex audiobooks.
Well, that's basically what I'm doing. No,
that's perfect. Listen,
she's writing them now.
Yeah,
she's writing.
She's writing
if I
and
read
narrating.
my own books, if I taped
What she didn't tell you about Author and Company is it's erotica only.
No.
Right? This is how you get into the next generation.
Betty White, erotica only? I doubt it.
I don't know.
She was hot. That was true, though.
I mean,
for 90 years old, she
the last
had it
thing
going
I saw
on.
her on was that roast.
Oh, that was fun.
And she was
I saw
hysterical.
But could you believe she was 90?
Yeah.
That, and she had, the thing with Betty White that always shocked me, she always had her marbles about her.
Yes.
Like up until the end.
No, she's really.
Well, you would know. You were with her.
Yeah.
Witty as hell.
The secret to a very sharp mind, games. Betty was mad about games.
Like Monopoly?
Like Password. What's that? Where you would draw things.
Not win, lose, or draw, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So anything that keeps your mind working.
Wait, is it like a game show or a game?
Oh, she was on every game show. Everybody
Game Show Network was my jam.
Yeah.
Pictionary.
Oh, Pictionary.
And she was on the Match Game. God, she was funny.
She was funny.
But she just loved games. And so Tuesday night at her house in Santa Monica, she would have friends over and they would all play games, right? And then her friends started dying off.
Oh, no.
So she had their kids. And then when I was working with her, she was having their grandkids were coming over to play games on Tuesday night. It was wonderful.
I would have loved to go to game night at Betty White's house. Thoughts?
I think it'd be amazing. I'm actually not opposed to being Betty White for
Apples
Halloween.
to apples with Betty White.
Yeah,
Boom.
there you go. You're not pretty enough. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. What's that?
Must be the hair.
What did he say?
I said I might be Betty White for Halloween. I'd like to dress up as Betty White.
It's hard.
That's a hard one. Maybe the tall one, Doris. What's her name?
Doris.
What's her name? The one from Gilmore Girls. What's her? Or not Gilmore Girls. Jesus. Now I'm really dating myself.
You're
What is
talking to
the
somebody who had three concussions in her accident.
Gilmore Girls? Or not Jesus.
Golden Girls.
She was
Dorothy.
Maude.
Dorothy. That's who you
Yes.
should be.
Well, you don't even know what Maude was, do you? You weren't
No.
even born.
What's that?
Oh my God, another number one. TV
M-O-D or
show.
M-A-U-D?
Maude.
No, I haven't.
That one I can't help you out on. Never heard of that one.
Did you ever hear of Adrienne Barbeau?
Nope. Not a clue. Never heard the name of my life.
This is
I heard of Zac Efron.
Lady Gaga.
right. Well, they were just getting born.
Of course you've heard about, I don't think Zac Efron was born, the way Brian likes them. Young.
Oh dear.
College.
Sort of.
That's not young.
Part time.
Have you seen Zac Efron? He's in a new movie.
Oh,
And he
okay,
comes out.
You sent me pictures the other day, and it does not look like what you had sent me.
Okay, well,
He's very attractive again.
Oh, no, he's not. He's ugly.
was
But
doing-
anyways, we're
Yeah,
going to go back to
you.
Maude.
Sorry.
So
Maude.
the accident, so let's talk through this. So obviously Betty White is told from somebody that
yeah,
Laura's
she
not
was-
coming, and she was she distraught. Like, talk to me about that.
She was. Yeah, poor thing. She, well, our mutual agent, a wonderful woman named Loretta Barrett, had passed away 2 months before of an inoperable brain tumor. Oh, no. Talk about cruel. That was just, Retta, we used to call her. And so she passed away, and Betty just said, Retta died, Laura just got hit by a drunk driver, I'm not going to be 3 on a match, book's off. She called the whole book off. She said, this is not good. Good
So she was
karma.
kind of relating the negativity going on with the creation of the book.
Yeah, and in World War II, I know you don't remember
I'm speculative
that.
too, so trust me. No, I don't remember that.
Well, 3 on a match was, if you were the third one on the match, then you were most likely to get killed in combat. So you never wanted to be the third one off a match. So you just didn't light 3 people. So that's what she meant. So I don't want to be the third
You mean a
on
match
the
book,
match.
like when you light a match?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know.
You wouldn't. Well,
That's why you
everybody
use
smoked
lighters.
in
So
those
it
days.
doesn't count.
Right. So that's what she meant, that I'm not going to be the third on the match.
That's okay. So that's awful. Prior to this time, so you had met all kinds of actors, all kinds of actresses, all kinds of everything.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
who are some of the
Double.
coolest people that you got to work with and collaborate with, either in book creation or in just assisting them or them assisting you?
Well, as an editor, what was really, because I was so young, I had signed up Janet Leigh, the lady who got killed in Psycho. Jamie Lee's mother.
Yeah, I know Jamie Lee. Janet's
Yes,
a little
well-
past my time.
But what do you mean?
I don't watch
past-
scary movies. I'm very scared.
Oh, okay. But she's still around. She just won an Oscar last year.
Janet Leigh?
No, Jamie.
I know her. I just, the
okay.
Psycho.
Right. No, she's no longer alive. But that was cool because she lived on Barbara Streisand Street, in off of course now I can't remember anything. But I would hang out in LA, and it was just fun to hang out at her house, and then you'd walk down the neighborhood and you'd see all these people. And I knew other people who lived on it. Benedict Canyon was the name of the road, because I wrote a book called Benedict Canyon. And my friend Donna Mills from Knott's Landing, I know you don't know.
I do actually know that name.
Because Knott's Landing is back on the air right now at Netflix.
Didn't you have some royal family connections?
Oh, gosh, yes. I wrote,
We can't let that go by without talking about
no,
Not these days.
I got a call from an agent who said, my client, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, was thinking about writing a novel, and she read one of yours, and she likes what you do. So would you be interested? And I, of course, immediately said no.
Yeah.
Because I also just like working by myself. But then it's so funny. My mother was sick then. You know, she's on her way out. And Sarah called me, and we were talking, and I liked her so much. And I don't know how I ended up telling her about my mother. And so, of course, she has to send my mother flowers in a cart. Well, that just sealed the deal. I had to do this book.
That's all it costs, is flowers in a card?
Pretty much, from the Duchess
someone
of
go pick some
York.
stuff up. You know,
I'm going to pick some shit up.
No, but there's my mother with her nurse in her house in Darien, and the doorbell rings, and she gets these flowers, and it says, "Feel better, you know, carry on. With all best love, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York." And my mother's like, "What?
Yeah.
This has got to have to do something with Laura."
Of course, it
So
always
she
comes
called me,
back to Laura.
"Laura, dear, what is this? I just got flowers from the Duchess of York." Anyway. And at that point, I had settled down out in Connecticut. And my mother said, "You know, dear, you really do need something going on." Because she was used to when I lived in New York and running around in LA and all this stuff. And here I was out in Connecticut talking about lawnmowers and things. And she just didn't think that was the same thing. She says, "Oh, go ahead and do it." So I flew over and I met Sarah and Prince Andrew and Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice. And Sarah and I worked on this project for off and on for almost 3 years. And it was a historical novel. And I'm very happy to say that I finally had to bow out because we had one delay after another, and I needed to carry on with my work. And I ended up, Sarah went on with another author, and she just wrote a book. Let's see, 2 years ago it finally came out. This took 14 years to write, but 2 years ago it came out and it was a bestseller. So I was very pleased for her. And I think she's writing another one now.
We're still giving you the credit, though.
No.
I'm going to give you the credit.
He started it.
no.
Yeah, you started it.
Well, the thing was, she had such a great imagination, which, as you know, when people say, "How are you when you're a novelist? How do you do it? Where do you get the story from?"
Yeah.
And I said, "It's from everything you've ever experienced, you've ever watched, you've ever read. It's all that mishmash in your head." And Sarah has such a cinematic mind. You know, she did a movie on young Victoria, which she wrote with Julian. The one about Newport. I keep looking to you. Right now it's
You're
on.
looking-
They
yeah, you're
Gilded
looking at the right
Age. Julian.
Oh, look over there at
Fellows.
the end of the table.
they have their phones
Julian
out.
Fellows, right?
The most, I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry. Like, they're going to like cancel me before I even get on.
Yeah,
but
remember that minor
the
little
most-
TV show about the family out in the country? What was that called?
the most
Downton Abbey.
boring shows
In
on
the
television.
world.
At least Bridgerton puts sex in them. These shows are awful. And I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, why is my TV on? Why is this awful things going on? Angie can't sleep. I'm like, why do you watch these things? They're so boring. It's like watching paint
You know
dry.
why, Brooke? Because it's the time.
Oh, it's awful.
It's the time. You have to be somebody who likes to linger.
But do you know who I
and
love?
Time.
Do you know who I'm like?
Who?
I love who I would love to have on the podcast. Like, make this go viral so it goes. Christina Baranski. She's in that, right?
Oh, she's
I'm
fabulous.
obsessed with her.
Well, I have a
Ever
friend who
since The
knows
Grinch,
her.
which is more my date, I am obsessed with her. I love her. Remember, I always talk to you about her, Brian.
Oh, I
She
know.
is
I love her.
wonderful.
She
Really?
was in The Good Wife, and she was amazing.
I know exactly who
love
she is.
her.
Yes.
She's
And
my
an
favorite person
amazing
ever.
Woman.
See, I was
Well,
thinking, what about Prince Andrew? If we want to be topical, make it go viral, let's have a real sit down with him.
Prince Andrew?
he'll get side-swiped again.
I don't think so. I think the damage is already done.
Yeah, no, he did
He
it.
can
It-
only go up from here.
Everybody said, "Don't go on that,
I
that
wouldn't have done
TV
that.
interview," and
Oh,
it
it-
was such a mistake. And
Yeah.
Mistake.
he was so gullible
yeah.
to do it. And
I think he said things in that interview that I don't even know if he knew he was saying.
what he was admitting, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I know Andrew, and I know the girls, and I know Sarah, and they were like the best parents. And the idea that Andrew would actually have, you don't understand, this man has every woman in England at his beck and call. He doesn't need a girl. And I understand about Epstein. The thing about Epstein that was so tricky is that he had so much money.
Yeah.
And nobody else did. It's like he had all the money. So if anybody had a project they wanted to do, nobody, and Andrew was the business ambassador for England, and he's trying to entice investment in British businesses and stuff. So, of course, it was like Trump knew him, too. Everybody knew him because he had all this money. But to equate him with somebody like, that just wasn't him. It's so when I hear him say, he denies it, it goes, yeah. Well, the other thing is he was so close to his mother, and there are big rules in the royal family about your protocol. And his mother had real rules too. And I'm telling you, it didn't include girls. And there was no reason for Andrew to have to do that. If he was around Epstein, it was because it had to do with money and something he was trying to bring to England, a business or investment. And I haven't talked to him. As soon as I heard it, I said, oh, of course they say that. Because they always say that about him. And they always say things about Sarah that aren't true too. But I get why people feel that way. But I was sick when I heard that he was surrendering his title.
Because you guys had friends. You guys are friends. Like, you guys had a real
Sarah and I are friends.
Relationship.
Yeah. And she lives with Andrew and has for years. And that's home for Princess Eugenie and Beatrice, and they have children now. So they go see their grandmother and grandfather, and they go to Windsor Park. And they were going to throw them out of their house, which, Andrew's grandmother, the Queen Mum, had given them, to live in. And they were going to turn them out and do all this stuff. And I was like, how can they do that? So I suspect that he surrendered the title in a deal to keep the house.
Yeah, I would say that's probably true.
For the family, because that's their family residence.
This Epstein thing has pulled a lot of people down.
Well, yeah.
And it's like, when does it end? When does it not? Listen, people that are absolutely found to be guilty deserve to be guilty.
But it's also like as if this never went on.
As if the people at the time didn't know about it.
This was the closed door on billionaires all the time. That was, that there were always two lives. It's just that now with all the cameras and high-tech stuff, people can't hide stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And they hid it for years.
Well, what have you seen, through your times and with the celebrities and with a lot of wealthy people? I'm sure you've seen this stuff happen.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you didn't see it, you heard it.
Yeah.
But it's like we turn a blind eye for decades. Right. Then all of a sudden we want to pay attention to it. I think it's awful. I think absolutely that people that are guilty of it deserve to rot in prison. I think that that Epstein deserved what was coming to him. I think Giselle, the counterpart, deserved what's coming to her. I'm not saying I think of it worse, but I look at her and I'm like, you're a fucking woman.
Yeah, but all right. But then it's a money thing. It was money.
So what?
She had no money, no power. She couldn't even pay the rent, Brooke, when he found her.
It's all awful.
But it's always money.
So I think
I'm not defending her, by the way.
Oh, I don't think you're defending her at all. No, I don't take it that way.
As a novelist, Brooke, when you write your novel, what will happen is that you'll go back into her history to look how she was brought up, and how did she get set up for that? What did he zero in on and operate? Because there are a lot of victims, this guy. But man, he knew how to read people.
Epstein, yeah. Well, he knew, it feels like he knew how to give people what they needed so they owed him favors. I bet you that guy had more favors coming to him than anybody.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I hate to say it this way, but what a fucking pussy. You're going to fucking off yourself and do the time. Do you know how many lives you've ruined? And you're just going to it's stupid. I'm not going to, I could die on the soapbox I'm standing on, but it's just awful. It's awful. But I think that to your point, you hear, so yes, the big story has been
right. And
about
I'm
Prince
just
Andrew.
saying, I have to speak up on Andrew's behalf, is that they've been divorced for many, many years, but they are best friends. And he's always had a girlfriend. She's always had.
Yeah, sure.
A man. And they date. But this was just, I'm telling you, it was there for about the money. So trying to get investment in England.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. They're not saying this just happened. They're saying this happened years and years and years and years. I mean, imagine waking up one day and be like, holy shit, what's going on?
Yeah.
But one of many people that you've gotten to work with and had a relationship with through writing, right? So you have them, you have Betty White.
Betty.
Who else have you worked with? Like that?
Well, I worked with Jackie Onassis, but she was an editor.
That's fun.
That was fun. That's what I was going to say when I came home from my interview from Doubleday, and I said, I got offered the job. And they're like, what are you doing? What job is this? And I said, well, it's secretary of the editor-in-chief of Doubleday, and it's really cool. William F. Buckley Jr. is there, blah, 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 blah. And then my mother says, well, why? Well, you don't want to be somebody's secretary. But in those days, you had to be somebody's secretary. That's where you started.
Mad Men.
And then you start, work your way up.
Okay. Fair.
And then I said, well, as it happens, I met Jackie Onassis today. She works there. And my mother says, I don't care. I'll compensate whatever you're not getting paid in this low-paying job. You work with Jackie. She was so excited. So that was great. That was a very early, and Doubleday was just such a, everybody was coming in and out. Liza Minnelli and Diana Ross and everybody. But then later, who else did I know? Yeah.
You had this this is a crazy life, amazing life, by the way. And then the accident happens, right? So you're still very active in this world, right? Right up until the accident happens.
No, and this was a big trip because Donna Mills was writing her memoir of Knots Landing. So I was going out to see her, and there were a couple of other people whose books were doing new books. It wasn't just republishing something. I was actually working as almost their agent. And I just completely lost my confidence, if nothing else, because.
But other than the sexy, raspy voice that you got as a result of the accident.
Oh, and the, yeah.
And go ahead.
Titanium rod in my ankle that holds my foot on.
Yeah, that one too.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
what do you think the injury was the most that impacted your ability to re-enter this world? Like, you're back in it, right?
Yes.
Don't be humble. You're back in it.
Well, I got to tell you the story because it is interesting. Because I've just hung back. I have not been anywhere. It's the first time in front of a camera in 10 years, and you couldn't tear me away before. So, my 50th high school reunion, Darien High School, class of 1974. I didn't want to go, but I went, and and everybody, they were so wonderful. My class prayed for me, did a prayer chain. They did all this stuff for me because I was very popular in high school. And as I say, nobody could believe that it happened to me. And when I came, I'm talking to people. No one could hear me. This voice just doesn't carry. And I was sitting there looking at all my friends, and we had a huge class, and they're all so successful, and they've done so well. But I remember them. I knew these kids. I've known them since kindergarten, many of them. And I felt like I just wanted to go up and stop the reunion and read them a story, just like the old days. And I would have, but nobody could hear this voice. So I went home and I was sad, and I saw Chris. And I explained to her, I said, I just wanted to get up and read them a story. And she said, well, why don't you do it as a podcast? Write them a story, and then they can hear you. Ding. And so the podcast, an ongoing fictional story called The Class of 1974, is on the air. It's an ongoing soap opera about life in high school in the early 70s. And so now I started out with my class, we're all listening now. I got people in Japan and India and Indonesia and Austria.
So good.
And all over the place. And I'm just making up a story. And it's the first creative writing I've done literally in 10 years. And so if I start to cry, it's because it felt so good to be able to do it again, because I'm just making it up. You can't explain to people what the power to make something up and bring other people into your world. It's the headiest experience. It's the most powerful feeling in the world. And I just felt completely stripped of it, of my identity after this accident, because I just couldn't do it. My brain just didn't have that capacity. Because when you write a novel, you take longer and longer and longer days writing, and you're almost self-hypnotist, And as you get towards the end of the book, you're working basically 20 hours a day, because you have this window where you're omniscient and can look down and see the whole 120,000 words, and how the story's supposed to go. And then you lose it. But the capacity to hold the story in your head, that's what I had lost.
I had talked to you after the accident and, when we were doing our representation, and I talked to Chris too. And the one thing, and I think it's important, you had said that when the doctors wanted to amputate your foot, when you were under, and you were in a coma for about a month, right? Mm-hmm. That Chris said, you can't do that. That is everything. You can't do that. She wouldn't want to live without her foot. But I think it's so important that...
Well, then my brother, my family backed her up.
Which is... Thank God, right? Yeah. But I think what a lot of people need to know about you that makes you a little different than some authors, you would actually put your boots on the ground and go visit the places to which you wrote about. So, well, you say, but not every author does that, right? So you had said that you wrote about the street. I know you were talking about doing, some stuff for Sarah Ferguson, like all that. Like, you actually set the stage for your books by
to absorb
going.
New material, yes. Working, yes, yeah.
And when I would talk to Chris about it, because it was very hard for you to talk to about it at the time, Chris would say that if she can't get around to go to where she needs to go, she'll never write again.
Yeah. Well, what would happen is I'd write like a maniac for a year or whatever, and never see anybody, and then I went on a book tour, and then you do like 14 cities in 3 weeks. And you just did nonstop TV, radio stuff. So
are we going to get this book in print that's on the podcast or what?
Well, you know what? It is like episodes of a novel. It's like I'm writing a novel in bits. And I may, but right now my public's clamoring to get them done on time because I'm making them up every week. I'm writing,
Do you read from it or do you make it up when you're on it?
No. Well, I ad-lib a little bit because I'll edit. But no, it takes me, I have to write 30 pages every week. And it's all dialogue, and I do all the voices, which of course is me being a ham, and of course I love it, and it makes me very happy. And things happen, these people are like getting maimed, and I'm like, oh no, and I'm getting choked up while I'm playing this character, and Cynthia says, yes, but he's hurt, he's really hurt. And then the episode ends, it's a cliffhanger, right? And then we come back to me, and I'm like, wow, this is really sad. Why is this such a sad podcast, Laura? I talk to myself. Because this podcast was to take me out of my own stinking thinking and go have fun somewhere else with people I loved and to laugh and act out. Ooh.
God, no, go.
We're about to blow up.
No, nobody's blowing up.
Don't worry, we're the second match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm the first.
No, third is the worst.
You're in the third seat. This sounds to me like this is your comeback story and your fuck you to that accident. That's what it sounds like it is for you. Because I can tell you, I was on some of that journey with you, and all you wanted to do was live life on your own terms. And it sounds like that's what you're doing. And I'm so proud of you to hear about this. This is amazing. How many listeners do you have?
Well, it depends. If I've finished a promotion, there's several thousand. But in a second, if I don't promote in bringing, then it comes down to a couple thousand, like 2,000. But that's okay. They're all around the world.
Well, our podcast listeners are going to totally, I'm sure, tune in, some of these guys. And they're going to listen to it, which would be
Class
amazing.
of 74. It's everywhere. Spotify, all of the places. Because I haven't, you know why, Brooke? I haven't done the promotion part because I've been shy.
Well, that's like something you talk to me and Brian about. That's our forte.
And that's it. So, like in New Haven, the news, they'll interview me with the daytime shows and stuff and PBS and all the places I used to go. And I just haven't done it. And so once again, Brooke Goff comes to the rescue to put me back on the road, because literally this is the first time. So I'll be able to do that and do the other part of the job I need to do on the podcast.
We'll talk to you. Brian and I will talk to you.
Yeah.
We're
We'll figure it out
marketing
for you.
mavens.
Yeah, we got it for you.
Yes, you are.
Little billboard. I'm trying to figure out. Laura, the cool thing about you is that you're such a good person that people can't help but be around you and want to support what you're doing.
Well,
and I
that's
think
nice.
that's awesome. The last thing we'll talk about is why the the March Madness went away last year. You're like the women's basketball
because
maven. Like,
Noah
where did it go?
took it over.
I don't want to hear. I did not get my invite last year. And by the way, I came in second in office, so I would have actually been in the money last year.
Well, that was good.
We should probably dig into why she didn't get an invite.
Because
there's
I
probably
would-
more behind
That's
this.
what I'm saying. That's the
There's
dig.
more. There's more behind this we need to find out.
Yeah, like was it intentional?
Was she
it-
aggressive at the party?
I wasn't going to do it anymore because I didn't have time. I was writing again.
Who's our favorite player in UConn right now? Go.
I have no idea.
On the women's team?
My favorite player?
Yeah.
But she plays for Indiana.
Oh, who? You can say Caitlin Clark. Who was it?
I'm just blinking.
You like Caitlin Clark a lot?
I mean, there's
Why?
only, yeah.
Because of her ethic, her work ethic, and all the girls. If
I'm a Paige fan.
if anybody makes that team, they're fantastic. There's a lot of sacrifice. Of course, you know this. You spend your life out shooting baskets in the
Not well.
yeah. But when
Have you
see,
witnessed Brooke play basketball?
It's pretty bad.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
we're gonna have to film that and show it to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be good.
Then you'll know she hasn't
Now
spent a
that's
lot
a
of time
pop.
out there.
Now
I had
that's a
pain
YouTube video.
in the parts of my life that
Oh,
matter,
wait a
okay?
minute.
Ask
there
my
was
wife.
a commercial.
Yeah.
She shot, and I went, look at her.
It was all fake.
Yes, it
I
was.
shot,
It
and
was
then they had to put
fake.
the ball in the hoop.
Her stance was not. I do remember
Her
that.
stance, she was
And
on a
was I in a
ladder.
suit? I was in a ladder, hanging from the hoop. I'm like, oh God, I'm afraid of heights. Donovan Klingon was like, I'll get you down. I'm like, you bet you will, Mr. 7'5". You better get me down.
We were trying to take the ball away from her. Like,
Oh, that
stop
was
holding it.
Funny.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
So Laura, this is a lot of fun. It was bad. I know. I am so happy you came on. So a goal of mine is for people, listeners, to get to know people through this podcast that they wouldn't otherwise know, but leave the podcast saying, how
need a
did I
good
not
lawyer.
know this person? And I need to dig in and figure out about her. And I hope that this is what that does too, because everybody needs to know who you are.
Well, I need everyone to know who you are to get help.
I mean, I know, but there's billboards everywhere for that.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
is your billboard. We're good.
This is my
Don't worry about me. This
billboard.
is totally you. You're always trying to just shade back the compliments. Take it for what it is.
Thank you.
Listen to her podcast, get to know Laura Von Warmer, and read her book, Riverside Drive.
Yeah, that one's.
Is there
still
sex in
print
it?
right now? God, yes.
And there's sex in it. Why would you not read it? All right. We're going to have you back on after your podcast hits like 100,000.
That
okay?
would be great.
Thanks.